Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Wisteria Rose, author of the new adult romantic suspense novel, Mythomania. And today, in celebration of my very first video on this channel, I decided to do the Authortube Newbie Tag. So, if you see me looking down here, it's because I'm looking at my phone so I can read all the questions. So, way before I was published, like years and years before this year when my book came out, I would watch people's videos about publishing and just what it took to become an author, just because I was curious and because I had always wanted to be an author ever since I was a little girl. So I stumbled upon like Kristen Martin and Jenna Moresi and other people who had like more informational type videos, and that's kind of how I fell into this. I write romantic suspense just because that's really what I'm into, but I also plan on writing suspense thrillers, horror, fantasy, young adult, anything pretty much across the board that interests me. So who knows what the future will hold. I prefer writing in present tense just because I think it's easier to keep up with. Every time I try to write in past tense, I always end up like mixing up my tenses, and it's a real editing nightmare, so I just stick to present tense. And point of view, third point of view is, I think, easier, so mythos in third, but the story I'm working on now to release next is in first person. So both of those, I never write in second point of view, but first and third are fair game. Category. I'd say more new adult and adult than YA or children's. Even when I was younger, I didn't really like reading middle grade or children's books. So those are the things that I find interesting, just because I like to write things that are a little further out there than would be feasible to put in young adult or anything younger. A plantser. I usually plot beginning, middle, end, and anything else that I feel like is important in between, and leave all the rest to however I'm feeling when I'm writing it. So both, definitely. I never just freestyle anything, and I never write everything down specifically because I feel like one is too much freedom and the other is not enough freedom. So that's what I need to properly get a story down. I am self-published. I use both Amazon and Ingram Spark to create my books, just because I think that gives people the most variety of options. Honestly, I'm not sure yet. So videos about like where I'm at in my current manuscript, and maybe a few other things like what I actually did to get published, how I come up with characters, sort of stuff like that, that I think will either be helpful or entertaining, or hopefully both. When I was 4 years old, I remember the first story I ever wrote was about this guy who wanted to kill the moon, but he couldn't kill the moon, so instead he decided to kill a mailman. Now I remember writing this in crayon, so it was a long, long time ago. And if that doesn't tell you like what type of stories I like to write, then nothing else will. Besides the whole murdering the moon story, the first story, like full-length novel I ever wrote, happened in middle school when I was in 7th grade. It was about a girl who found out that she had been reincarnated from like 200 years ago because her husband from back then showed up. So that was fun. It was a hot mess though. 7th grade me was not good at like linking things together and making stuff make sense. So that one will probably just die in my brain. No one will ever read it, but it's fine. Everyone needs a good place to start. I hope this doesn't come off as conceited, but none of them. I've always loved writing, like way before anything else. So I've always kind of written in my own way. So I didn't really have the time to be inspired by anyone but my own creativity. So I'm marching on the beat of my own drum here. I try to write a little bit every day, but I don't have a strict schedule that I have to follow. I mean, there are a few things that I have to get done per week just for like Patreon or anything else that I have planned, but I don't have a specific like, okay, I'm gonna write from 8 to 10 or whenever like that, because that's not how my brain works. I have to be in the mood to write. So if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it, and whatever I write is gonna be complete and utter trash. So I try not to push myself too much. So I plan all of my stories out on paper just because I feel like that's easier to get your ideas free-flowing if you can just scribble them down really quickly. But I always write my books and short stories and everything else on my laptop. And I write pretty much anywhere I can find in my house, usually in my bedroom or like downstairs on my kitchen table. But, you know, sometimes I write on my phone on the bus, or sometimes I write, you know, while visiting people. It just depends. I really wish I had like a dedicated office space or writing space like a lot of writers do, but I don't. That is a goal for the future. Making friends. Honestly, no one I know in real life writes or, you know, does any sort of really creative outlet sort of thing. So I'd be so excited to make friends with someone else who knows how hard being an author is and how fun it can also be and challenging and everything in between. I feel like having friends or people that you know in the same field is invaluable. So hopefully I'll be able to make a lot of friends, and hopefully I'll learn a lot too. And hopefully I'll be able to help you guys out. Anyone else who wants to be an author or just likes writing or for some reason finds me entertaining. So that's hopefully what will happen. Well, that is it for today's video. So if you like this video, please like it and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.